Hey lovelies, I'm back with another BYOP, and this will actually be the last palette I build in the year of 2021. Of course, I've been doing this series with my friend Kara over at Beauty and the Frizz, and we've been lucky enough to have Kendra Morgan Official jump in on some of these. And when Kara and I were sort of like planning out what we wanted to do each month, when we talked about this palette, of course we think about New Year's Eve, and that's really a fun way to, have some fun color scheme, but really more importantly, we also wanted to make this a look back on our year, a reflection palette, if you will. And so that's going to be what we're doing today. Now, if you haven't checked out Kara's channel, I will of course have her link down below, and please do yourself a favor and go check out her channel. She's amazing. She does wonderful content and she's just a wonderful woman. So I really hope that you were able to see her palette as well. And I don't think Kendra's joining us on this one. I think it's just a little crazy in the Kendra Morgan Official world right now, but hopefully she'll be back for the next one, which by the way, I will be telling you guys the theme for next month at the end of this video. So make sure you hang tight so you can see that. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos like more build your own palettes if that's something that you're into. If you're like Kara and I and you have tons of singles in your collection and you're just trying to find ways to be inspired to use them, I will say this has in general, speaking of reflections, here we go with my first one, this in general has been a year of single shadows for me, for sure. I really have been pulling out my single shadows to use them. In all honesty, I would say most days that's what I use. Like if I think back throughout the year, most of my days I use single shadows, at least in some capacity. But the thing is when you have a big collection, and I really don't consider mine as big as some people's, but when you have a bigger single shadow collection, you sort of lose track of what you have and you maybe forget some of the beautiful shades that you do have. And that's what's been great about this series, is it's really helped me find some that maybe have gotten like lost in the stacks. All right, so as we're going in talking about reflections right off the bat, I just want to say that looking back on this year and reflecting on it, there's some not happiness. So I'm just going to throw that out here right now. If you are looking for a video that is 100% sunshines and rainbows, this might not be the one for you, and I totally get that. But this has been a bit of a hard year for me, as it has for a lot of people, and I'm going to be honest about that in this video. So the direction that this palette went in, I think sort of showcases that a little bit. And I will talk a little bit about things, but also what these shades represent to me as we get into this. But if you'd like to see a little peek at my palette, here we are. So this is the palette for my Reflections palette, my New Year's Eve, which I think it does fit with both. And I'm excited to share this with you. I'm also, of course, going to be creating a look, which is why I've got a half naked face. I just have a little bit of foundation and my brows on, but I will probably be, there's some sparkly shades in here. But if we do happen to get some fallout in this, I just wanted to be able to minimize the craziness. So I did not do any concealer and I don't have blush. I need to still choose a lip color, so all that stuff. So we're starting partially naked faced, but we're gonna go ahead and get into this, and I am going to zoom you guys in and I will give you details on the swatches, talk a little bit about what they made me think of, talk about my past year, and of course all of these will be linked down below if you find any of these that are tripping your trigger and you want to see if you can get them. I'll be honest, I haven't checked to see if all of these are available, but right off the bat I don't see anything that wouldn't be available. So let's dive right in. All right, we are going to get right into this. Please excuse the little watch mark. I meant to take that off earlier. So I'm going to do swatches of these shades and give you a little like backstory on them, but I will also be doing an up close little like pan so that you can see them more in detail as well. So I'm not really sure where I want to start with this. Okay, I'm really struggling with which way I want to like swatch these for you, because I think that the way I have them laid out in the pan, this is so Virgo of me, but like the way that I have them laid out in the pan is the way that I think that they look the best. So that's the way that I want to swatch them, but I don't know if it's the best way like storytelling wise. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start from the bottom and go to the top. That's how we do. Okay, so I'm gonna start out with the shade. This is maybe cheating. This is maybe cheating, but I don't really care. So I'm starting out with this Lethal Cosmetics shade, and the thing about this is actually from the Velvet Dusk palette. So I went onto the site this morning to see if you could get this as a single shadow. I am pretty sure that you can. If not, I'm sure that they have something that's very, very close, but I did pop this out of that palette. This just, it just really goes so well with these other colors. And for me to not have a green in a palette would be very sad. So if I can find the name of this one, I will. But this is this like little kind of pea soup kind of shade. And, you know, again, for me, I just need a green. I need a green in most palettes. Okay, sorry, I just changed the focus on my camera. But you can see that this is sort of like that. It's totally like a pea soup kind of green. I love it. I love a good grungy moment, and I love a good green. So one of the things that I really enjoyed this year, unfortunately we didn't get to do it as much as last year, but Jeremy and I really were working on our yard. We've been doing a wildflower prairie and trying to enhance and add. It's definitely like a labor of love, and it takes a few years to really cultivate, but we had a lot of fun being able to pick out some more plants to have, really trying to like get in there. And I found out that I'm really good at growing weeds, like ragweed. Some of the plants that we got were like taller than me, and I was like, oh, this is a great one. And I was like, oh, it's ragweed. It's a freaking weed that Jeremy is very allergic to. And so so we spent a lot of time out in the yard, and so that green, it kind of represents that to me. So on that same note, this is the shade Shard from Clionadh Cosmetics. This is one of the stained glass. So this shade is sort of like a lighter representation of one of my favorite moments in our garden this year. We grew hollyhocks, and I was so excited to see the hollyhocks that we have that were like this deep blurple black color. Like they're like black with just a little undertone of purple. And then I also have a lily that's called like the Purple Rain Lily, and they're like, again, they were like that like deep like purpley black shade. They were just so cool, and when they were in the light you'd see more of that color come up. But the hollyhocks were actually like taller than me, and so it was one thing that wasn't a weed that I was able to grow really, really tall, and it was really cool. If I can find the picture, I'll post it, because I took a selfie with a freaking plant because I was like, these are amazing. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that those come back next year. I'd like to plant more. But so this like this pretty shade, and again, if we're thinking about New Year's Eve, like something that's got this shifty duochromeness to it, I think is really fitting for that. So that is that shade Shard. I cannot remember if I've included this one in a palette before. I probably need to like start writing those down. I should be more aware so that I can use more unique shades every single time, because I think I might have used this one, but guess what? You're getting it again. All right, so this one is a Glam Shop shade. So this is one that I actually got originally because one of my friends shipped her Glam Shop order to me, and when I was unpacking them just to make sure everything was safe, I was like, whoa, this is such a cool shade. So I don't know if this is going to like quite show up, but this shade is, you know, it's not quite gray, it's not quite gold. It has almost like, it almost has like a slightly pink undertone to it. This is the freaking coolest shade, and I don't personally think, let me see if I can be coordinated enough here to hold this shade up here, right? Like what? I don't think that that's what you think you're gonna get out of this. And let's face it, I think that is 2021 in summary. It's not what you thought you were gonna get out of it. And that's definitely been my year, like it has been most people's year. Let's face it, it's been a weird one. You know, but you can also flip that, right? You could flip it and think, okay, well, yeah, this hasn't been the year that I expected, but we all know that sometimes you find beauty in some of the unexpected too. And I've definitely had those times this year. So I guess like this is to just remind us that, you know, things aren't always as they seem, and sometimes it's for good and sometimes it's not. But I do really love this shade. It is so pretty. It's one of those that, you know, in the pan you just don't find the magic in it. So here is another shade. This is the shade Bonbon from Clionadh, and this is obviously one of their circle pans, round pans. Every single time I forget if it's round pan or circle pan, and I really like this. So this for me represents a couple things. So first of all, it represents the fact that my makeup tastes have kind of shifted a little bit, and I've been getting more into wearing like purples and blues a little bit. Blues not quite as much, but definitely been getting a little bit more into the purples. which I just didn't always do a lot of in recent years because it makes my hazel eyes look more brown, and I just prefer them to look a little bit more on the green side. But I do think it's flattering, and this color is so bright that it's just so pretty. And for me, this color in this palette is representing the laughter and the happy moments that I've still found this year. Boy, you know, you really have to hang on to those. So I'm just grateful for those times where it's like, okay, like the world might seem like a big dumpster fire right now, but I've still found times of happiness with my loved ones. And so thank you, first of all, to all my friends and family that have helped me find joy in this year. So, wow, I'm getting emotional over a freaking purple eyeshadow. Okay. So it's just a reminder that, you know, you can find some of those happy moments. But this is such a pretty shade, isn't it? And one of the reasons that I put this in here is because I think that this is a shade that can actually almost become a satin. I mean, it's like a duochrome, but I think that if you really buff it out, you could make it almost more of like a satin matte if you want to use it as like a matte in this palette, if you wanted like a colorful matte, because I don't have any colorful mattes in here. They're all pretty like cool neutral. So, okay, moving on. So the other side of that, right? The other side of that, here is Legendary. This is a Sydney gray shade. This is sort of like a grayish, I would say. It's like a gray beige. Wow, I've already got sparkle all over me. Okay, so this is definitely, you know, it's kind of representing some of the murk of this year and the sadness. And I will say, like, just in general throughout this year, between you know, some family illness stuff and just some tragic situations, it's not been a happy year, and it's really been a struggle with some anxiety and depression for me. And I don't want to say, I do actually think that I could be clinically diagnosed with anxiety at this time, but the depression is more probably just, I don't want it to seem like it's that severe, because it's not, but like all of us, there's just been those times. And so for me, it's been like, I think the anxiety is partially circumstantial, but also hormonal. I just feel like when I turned 40, my hormones have started going like, woo, like kind of crazy. And so I'm going to be on a journey this next year to try to find some balance with that. Through the things that I eat and changing lifestyle things and stuff, because I got to get that stuff under control. But so, you know, like, you have the happy moments, but let's face it, there has been a lot of like crazy dark murky moments in this year, and I can't do a 2021 palette without doing that. So but this is a very pretty shade, and I think it's going to go with a lot of shades in here. And you know, you just have to have those good like staple mattes. So moving on, we are going to talk about another great staple matte. This is Adorn, and this was one of my first two Devinah mattes that I got. The other one is in here, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But this matte, this is like, it's one of my all-time favorite browns now. This is like it almost on my finger looks like it's going to be like an almost black, like an off black, but it has a very cool undertone, and it's so pretty. I have a look that I did that I just keep looking at pictures of, where it's like I had blended it out. I think I used this Adorn in a recent palette, but I don't even care. I'm using it again. I blended it out into my crease, and it was just like the most perfect shade. So for me, Adorn is just like that beautiful, it's a brown, but when you place it with some of these other shades, it can almost look like a deep, like purpley brown, and I love it. This color. So one of the things that I was thinking about with this is it was the last kayak trip that Jeremy and I took of the year. We saw a lot of brown because it got so darn rocky that we basically had to carry the kayaks for probably half of the trip, and it was a hot mess, and I literally thought we were going to get stuck in the dark on this river, on this stream, on this waterway. It was crazy. I was like, what happens if it gets dark and we're still out here? The trip took like 3 times as long as the little like blog said that it would, and it's just because the water was so low and our kayaks are too big. we're too big. So yeah, it was an adventure, but it was a fun moment. It was a little bit scary, but it was fun once we got through it, and definitely a memory that Jeremy and I will have forever. So that was our last kayak trip of the year, and it made us realize, hey, if we're gonna keep doing more like riverways and streams, we need smaller boats. So that is that. Okay, so this next shade is one of the newest to my collection, and this is Twinkle Toots from Devinah. So this is one of the Carnival Sweets, and I put this in here because I think it's a really nice New Year's Eve shade because it's so sparkly and reflective. This is definitely going to be one that you're going to need to see the magic of when it's up close. But it does have a beautiful shift of like almost like ultraviolet. I mean, you can see the teal, but there's almost like an ultraviolet and blue to this. It's so pretty. I really love this one. Again, you'll have to see the swatches up close, but this for me, so you all know that I love Devinah shadows, and I was incredibly honored to be added as an affiliate this year. By the way, all of these shadows I have actually purchased. Technically, the Carnival Sweets are being sent to me, but I could not wait to film. I already talked about this in my Carnival Sweets video. So I have purchased a Carnival Sweets set to give as a giveaway, and I busted into those because I haven't gotten the PR yet. But I am getting those. Deandra from Devinah let me know, hey, by the way, don't pick those up. I'm sending the new to you, which was, I'm very honored. But as an affiliate, she's been so sweet, and she said that she would, well, I'm the affiliate. She's obviously the brand owner. But anyway, as an affiliate, she's sending those out to me, which I'm really excited for. But I wanted to get the content out for those of you that possibly wanted to do the pre-order purchase. So I busted open the giveaway set. So technically I did buy these ones, but those other ones are being sent to me. Before that, I have purchased all of my Devinah. But anyway, as I was saying before that ramble, I was really excited to be added to the Devinah squad, and that's just craziness for me. So there's no way that I could not talk about this. I mean, for me, it's just surreal. I put Devinah in my best brands of 2020 video. I, of course, listed some of the shadows in my best of 2020, and now, a year later, to be an affiliate and now to be able to offer all of you a discount with my code is just, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I appreciate all the support that all of you have given me throughout my time here on my channel, because I couldn't do it without all of you. So thanks to Devinah, thanks to all of you. Let's keep moving on. We do have more Devinah in this palette. You probably won't be shocked. All right, so this is the other original matte shade that I bought from Devinah, and this is Karma. This is black, and this one is kind of rounding off. It's not the end of the palette here, but it's sort of rounding off my vibes of this year. For those of you that maybe aren't following on social media, on my Instagram, you might not know that we had a fire here in the Keep Beauty Real household. Oh, before I get into this whole story, like, look at this. Look at this black. It's like the blackest black ever. I love it so much. But, so yeah, I'm not gonna go too much into this story, but basically, Jeremy bought a truck, and we had driven up to Minnesota to grab it, because right now finding trucks in this market is just, it's crazy. And we got it back, and it's a diesel, so he had plugged it into the block heater, and that night, about an hour after we went to bed, we were awoken by our neighbor, who probably saved our life. The truck had caught on fire, and we rushed outside, and we're so lucky that the firefighters were able to get there really fast. But the house did catch on fire, and again, we are very lucky they were able to put it out really fast. So there is, our house is still up. Like, we're safe, by the way, obviously we're safe. But yeah, to like, so much damage and destruction. And I'm gonna say that right now, that freaking truck is still in our driveway, because we had to have the adjuster come out to look at it and everything. And it's black. I mean, it was black, but now it's like this. And so that's what right now, until we can get this freaking thing out of here, that's what we are looking at every day. It's just like this piece of blackness and our melted house. And that's hard for a lot of reasons, and it makes it really hard for Jeremy's business. So yeah, so it's been a hard one. But we are so lucky. Like, our bedroom is right above the area that caught fire, and just like thinking about how it would have been if it had gotten worse, if it was one of the really windy nights that had been, you know, a few days earlier, it would have happened so much faster. So we are so thankful for our neighbor for being brave enough to walk by an engulfed, inflamed truck to knock on our door to wake us up. Yeah, so that sucks. So black truck, blackness. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna move on from that one. Okay, so here I have Rock Biter, and this is a Pretties for Your Face. So Pretties for Your Face is a company that is new to me this year. It is a newer company, I would say, but it's a new to me this year. So you can see this shifty shade here. So I actually pulled this one out. I've already swatched it. I just realized I hadn't given you a finger swatch. So this for me is representing my wonderful Jeremy. I couldn't do a year palette without having something that represented him, because I don't know how we've really had to be each other's like support system through this. And Jeremy appreciates now the shifty shadows, like so I wanted to use something that's a little bit shifty, but since this has like kind of like a brown and a nice like gray to it, I think that Jeremy looks good in both of those colors. Green also, like he'd look killer in a green like this. But anyway, I'm just so thankful for him, and we've been through a lot this year. A lot in the, honestly, like the last year and a half has just been kind of weird. So I'm grateful to have, you know, a good support system, and we're trying. Like, I guess, you know, obviously we got engaged last September, and you know, our relationship is probably one of the good things about my life right now. I love my career. Like, I'm very grateful to have what I have, and that I've built my business, and that despite being closed for 2 months last year, I'm still going, I'm still thriving. But you know, like, you have to have those people in your life that can be there for you when times get tough. And I think we are that for each other. So thank you, babe. Okay, our last one. This is the first shade that I knew that I was going to be putting in here. And I think it's perfect for New Year's. So this is Moonlit from Devinah. And, ooh, I think I talked about this in my swatch video, which, by the way, I do have a full collection of swatches, minus the Carnival Suites, but everything else, I do have a video up on my channel, which I will have linked down below if you do want to check that out. But if this isn't New Year's Eve in a shadow form, I don't know what is, and you might not even be able to see the full majesty of this. So this, of course, is that beautiful, sparkly, and to me, it's not like a silver. It's got a little bit, I'm just gonna kind of like smooth this out a little bit. It's got a little bit of like taupe to it, almost like a dash of gold. So it's like you're just not quite sure. Like, can I get back enough? There we go. Gosh, is this only, yeah, this is 10 shades. Okay, I just did big swatches. I don't know, but man, look at that. Like, you can see when I tilt it here, you can see my side light. Oh, that's so pretty. So this is a great New Year's Eve like sparkle shade, and this is really just to remind us all that there has to be some beautiful sparkle coming around the corner. And maybe you found it this year, you know, maybe you found those moments in your year, and I am so happy for you if you did. I'm waiting for my sparkle, but I know it's around the corner, and so this is something I had to put in my palette to remind me of those bright days. So I'm gonna zoom these swatches in a little bit closer for you so that you can see them all up close, and I really think that this palette turned out good. Okay, so now that you've gotten to see all the shades in my little reflections palette, sorry if I went down a path there, but now I'm just gonna create a look with this. And in the past, I have really tried to use like almost every shade. I don't think I'm going to do that with this one. I just think it could end up being a lot, but I'm gonna have fun with this. So I think I'm just gonna put on some music and play with these. Really, you know, it's just gonna be kind of like a fun, chill moment for me. So I'm gonna enjoy the power of getting to play with makeup. You guys can hopefully enjoy watching and seeing the look that's created, and we can chat a little bit when I'm done.
Standing on the porch in the night, thinking how we used to be way back in time. Barefoot on the grass. past open skies. I can feel it every time I close my eyes. My eyes, yeah. Can you remember when we were young and free, like queens up on a thrones? Never surrender, we're having too much fun. Could feel it in my bones. I was never hanging on the beach, catch your tide. Those will always be the best days of my life. My life. There I fell in love, held her hand, kissing while we painted hearts down in the sand. The sand, yeah. Can you remember when we were young and free, like queens up on a thrones? Never surrender, we're having too much fun. Could feel it in my bones. I was never
Well, all right, here we are. I like the way that this look turned out. It is like a good New Year's Eve look, I think. It's like dramatic, it's got a little sparkle going on. It was fun to kind of try combining these shades. I originally thought that I was gonna go fairly colorful, but I feel like my last look, that was the holiday look, and that one got very, very colorful. So I thought that I would stick with something that's more of like a little bit closer to your traditional glam, but I will definitely keep this set together. I actually have a live that I'm going to be doing tonight, my New Year's Eve bash, and I might consider doing a little bit more colorful, fun look for that. I don't know, we'll have to see. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw on some mascara, a little blush, a little lip. I'll come back, share with you what I used, and we can have some final thoughts. Okay. Here we are with the final look, and I really like it. I really, really like it. It's a little glam, a little sparkly, but still like it's neutral with like a hint of color. Because I feel like the two shades that I did on the lid, they have just enough to them that it's like, what shade is she wearing? I feel like I could wear this obviously with this purple that I'm wearing, but also like I could wear this with green. I could wear it with brown. I feel like you could, you know, really dress it up with anything. So what else I threw on my face quick? I just went through with a couple coats of the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black. And then I used, just on the lower waterline, the 24/7 waterline pencil from Urban K. And then for my lips, I went through with the Essential Lip Pencil in the shade Vintage Pink from Wayne Goss, and then I mixed two lip glosses. First I put on Hyacinth, also from Wayne, and it just was like a little too nude. I was like, oh, with the purple top, I kind of want to like give it a little bit more. So I threw on Divine Rose from, of course, Pat McGrath, right over the top. So I think it was like a great combination. Oh, and for blush, I just went through with Damselfly. This is, of course, a Becca blush. I'm really like, I know that like Smashbox kept a couple of Becca products, but like, man, their blushes were just so nice. I love this color. I'm not going to bother with any highlight. First of all, I think that there's like enough sparkle going on the eyes. If I was going out for a night for New Year's, like maybe that would be something I would do, is add a highlight, but I'm actually just about to like go slap a mask on to go get my nails done, which, by the way, I'm sorry for what you had to look at through this whole video. I am at 4 weeks without getting my nails done, and wow, they are getting ridiculously long, but I had to cancel my appointment with all the like emergency stuff we had going on, and between my schedule and her schedule, there was no way I was going to get in over the holidays, or before the holidays. So now it's time to go in, and I can't wait. So I think I'm going to go through and do like a dark grungy color with just like a sparkle, you know, for New Year's. I don't know, we'll see. I'm sure you'll see it in tonight's live, which of course will have been before this video goes up. But I hope you have enjoyed getting to see my New Year's Eve palette, my Reflections palette. I'm sorry if it was a bit of a bummer, but that's just kind of where I am in life right now. But I am still so very grateful for all of you, all of my friends and family that have, you know, really helped us get through this. And I want to thank Kara for starting this fun project with me. I'm really excited to start looking into next year and what we're going to be doing for that. By the way, if you are curious what next month's palette is going to be, it's going to be our Galentine's / Girls Night Out theme. So if you want to join in, if you are a creator, we do have a community playlist started, or if you just want to pick out some shades and tag us on Instagram, show them off in your stories on a post, we would just love to have you join in with us. If you want to do a New Year's Eve look, please, again, feel free. We'd love to see it. And as always, I appreciate all of you so much. It really does mean so much to me that you take some time out of your day to spend it with me. And if you're here from Kara's channel and you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. I'd love to have you as part of our community over here. So I want to wish all of you a very wonderful new year. What do you usually do for your go-to New Year's makeup? Let me know down below. By the way, I should have probably like worn something a little bit more New Year's Eve-y. I didn't even put any earrings in, for God's sakes. But in all honesty, this is probably going to be what I'm like on New Year's Eve. I'm going to be cozy in a little like loungy sweater, probably some leggings, hanging out at home, but I'll probably take some time to do some fun makeup. If you're like me, sometimes you just want to put on makeup for makeup's sake, even if you're just going to be hanging out at home, watching Netflix, playing some games, eating some seafood. Anyway, that's going to be it. Happy New Year. I will see you really soon.